Welcome to Modern Day Abigails. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new." So let's listen to God's Word, where everyday lives transform and where we can become the women God created us to be. This is what happens when you have a favorite. When you have a favorite, suddenly you're overlooking things. And I'm not talking about, there's plenty of passages that talk about love. Proverbs talks about how love will look over certain things. Those are the little things that is not, the little things like you want the cabinet shut and the person doesn't, shut the cabinet. Okay, let's look over that. Or little minor things like somebody has a bad attitude one day. Like you and I, one of these, sometimes we know the other person's upset. Mm-hmm. But we overlook it because I know I probably have said some things that I shouldn't have said it the way I did, but I was in a bad mood and I just said what I was thinking off the top of my head.
Hey, you said what you said.
Yeah. But you didn't hold it against me. You're like, she's in a bad mood. I'm going to let this go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. This is complete disobedience, full disobedience. And it's not I'm having a bad day disobedience. This is, I just don't want to listen. Disobedience. So he's overlooking that fact. He sold his birthright, but still expects a blessing. He marries women that God told him not to marry, but still expects to be blessed. And Isaac is determined to bless him.
It's kind of the same thing where we have non-believers who don't believe in God, but the minute something goes wrong, they're blaming God. And I'm like, hold up.
Exactly.
You don't get the right to blame somebody you don't believe in. Yeah, remember, you don't believe there's a God, so,
Yeah, exactly. I always thought that was weird, too, when it's something, and then they'll go blame God, and it's like, you don't even believe. How do you blame somebody you don't believe in?
Exactly.
Blame the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, my son used to do that long ago, and I'm like, hold up, you don't get to gripe about God because you don't believe in him, remember?
What did he say?
He'd be like, well, I'm like, oh, I do know. I don't think you do.
I would say, no, I don't. Please do. Explain it to me because I really need to know these things.
Yeah. I'm like, no. Look, let's put this into perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
He stopped saying that a long time ago.
We were watching a show that they were talking about, creation versus evolution. And when this guy really pushed this guy, he finally said, well, there's a creator. Whoa, did you admit there's a creator? But we don't know who it is. Yeah. Yeah, because when you face that creator one day,
you're going to know who it is.
Oh, you'll know who he is. And too late then.
That's right.
Anyway, well, a lot of people don't want to believe in a God because believe in a creator, because if they believe in the creator, that means they have to submit to the creator and they don't want to submit to the creator. Yeah. So it's not that they don't really believe there's a creator. They just don't want to have to, they pretend that if they don't acknowledge him, he'll go away. And I had a conversation with the guy, great guy. He's a really nice guy. He did at that time, I mean, he might be a believer now, but at that time he wasn't. And he said, well, what if you don't believe in God? And I simply told him, I said, God's not Santa Claus where if you don't believe him, he goes away. He's there whether you believe or not.
Yeah. And what if I'm right and you're wrong? What if?
Yeah, exactly.
I told my son that one day. I'm like, what if what you're telling me, what if you find out you're wrong?
Yeah.
What if you found out I'm right? What are you going to do then? Because here's the deal, ladies, and those who are not Christians, let's put this into perspective. When you die, that's it.
Yeah,
you do not get a chance to renege and decide to believe. Yeah. It's too late.
I'm sorry.
You're not going to be sitting in front of the Lord
and
saying, oh, you are real. Ha-ha.
Okay.
No. That's not how that's working.
Let's be honest. There is no purgatory.
There's no the Bible says that.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because you're thinking, well, how do you know? Because the Bible says there's no purgatory. There are two places you go. You go to the great white throne to be judged for eternity into hell, or you go through the Bema seat where anything worldly is burned away and whatever is left because you've been saved by Jesus gets to continue. There is no purgatory.
Yeah.
You don't get a second chance.
One or the other.
You're not getting prayed out. Nobody. And if you're praying for somebody out, please save your money. It ain't going to help. And in fact,
the Bible's very clear on what happens.
I wonder what happened to the rich young ruler who refused to follow Jesus. And somebody told me, well, you can just pray for him. He's dead.
Too
late.
He's dead.
She just looked at me. She goes, well, that's where we're just going to have to disagree. Uh-huh. And then I've heard other people say things about, they'll pray to the saints. I'm like, how? They're dead. They can't do anything. And if they're not dead, now we have a real bit interesting problem because Jesus is the only one who was resurrected.
The only one.
Only one who was ever resurrected. And we are on a really side topic, but it's a great side topic.
It's a great one.
Yes. So the thing is I really have no idea how we got there.
Because we were talking about how.
Yes.
When. I'll remember.
Okay.
Because.
We're sorry. Okay. So we were talking about, we were going over the fact that, Esau rejected his birthright for a bowl of stew. But he still expected a blessing. He marries women that God told him not to, but he is still expecting a blessing. And then Isaac is still continued to bless him anyway. So I think the assumption is that when we are biased, it can cause us to overlook the obvious. Another assumption would be tradition can cause us to do things that we don't even know why we're doing it. Can you think of any? I got a story of one I've read, but can you think of a tradition that you don't even know why you have that tradition? It's just a tradition.
Like in my family?
Yeah.
I'll have to give that some thought because I've been empty nested for so long.
Yeah. Even growing up.
One tradition that my son and I have is on Christmas Day, we always go watch a movie. We go to the movies.
But what started that tradition? Do you even know?
I think we were bored on Christmas Day, and we've been doing this for I
remember going with you that one year.
10, 15 years.
I think it was Star Wars or something, and we went with y'all.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, we did.
You sure did.
So the one reason I'm saying this is there was a story I read, and I thought was a great a picture of how we have to be very careful. So this mom and this little girl are preparing a roast, and the mom cuts the end of the roast, puts the roast in the pan. I'm not even sure what she does with the tip of the roast, but she doesn't cook it. And the little girl's like, why do you do that? Why do you cut the tip of the roast off? And the mom sat and thought about it. She goes, I don't know. You're going to have to ask your grandmother. And so the little girl goes to the grandmother and says, hey, Grandma, why do you cut the end of your roast off before you bake it in the oven? Grandma sat and thought about it for a minute. She goes, I don't know. You're going to have to ask your great-grandmother. I told you it was a story I heard. I don't know if it's real. So the little girl, apparently calls the old folks home or something, gets a hold of her great-grandmother. And she goes, Great-grandma, why do you cut the tip of the roast off? She goes, oh, we didn't have a big enough pan, so we had to cut the tip off. Yeah. So now they have these big enough pans for the roast, but they still cut the tip off. We had that kind of in our story.
So funny.
It's a banana. We always cut the tip of our banana off. And I asked my mom why. She goes, oh, you have to because something with poison or something. And I always thought it was really weird. So one day we're doing it. My grandmother was like, why are you cutting the tip of your banana off? Mom said, well, because y'all had to. She goes, oh, Ann, that was during World War II. And I forgot what it was. There was something during World War II that something had crept into the banana, so you had to cut the tip off. I don't remember. I'm going to have to Google it one day.
I don't have any weird stories like that, Anna.
Well, what bothers me is my grandparents passed away before I thought about asking. Could you explain that story again to me one more time?
Right.
I was a little kid, and I was just remembering. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh. So we started eating the tips of our bananas after that.
That's funny.
I don't know. I'm hoping, hey, if anybody is listening and they're an older generation or even a younger one who knows why we used to cut the tip off of our bananas, could you please send me an email?
moderndayabigales@gmail.com.
Yes,
we
please.
need to know.
Yes.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I think that I'm a little scared to Google that.
Okay, don't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many keywords there.
Thank you. A little. I mean, I looked up reversal once. Yeah, I will never do that again.
I don't even know what that means.
I was just looking for a reverse sign because I was talking about taking a process and reversing it. Mm-hmm. And so I typed in reversal images. Would you like to know what images I saw?
No.
It took me a few minutes before I realized I was looking at vasectomies.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
Well, that makes total sense.
And I was like, oh my God, my work's going to find this out. Thank God I didn't get any emails from IT. I died. I just sunk and died.
They probably knew you and saw what you were looking up.
Probably it probably didn't flag anything because it's not a word that would have been flagged.
It's reversal.
Yeah.
We use that in everyday life.
Yeah. Who would have thought that that's the pictures I would have found? That's why if y'all hear, I don't search much. I don't go on YouTube. I don't search the internet because I can put in something very innocent and find very uninnocent
that
things.
That does happen to you a lot.
It does.
It really, really does.
I was looking for those little feet you put on the bottom of the computer. I didn't know there was a foot fetish until then. Saw some weird pictures, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing. That's
and I'm telling you,
thing.
I didn't know this. So those events were only a few years apart, and because computers had just come out, internet searches had just come out, but I don't search anything.
Listen, this is off topic. Totally funny story on the feet fetish. When I lost my job, this was years ago. I got laid off, and my money was about my severance pay was about to end, and my son's like, "Mom, you got cute feet. Just do feet pics." I didn't know what he meant.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. He was kidding.
Oh,
absolutely kidding, because he knew that as soon as I realized what he was talking about, I'd be mortified. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Oh my gosh,
feet are gross. Why would anybody want to take pictures of their feet?" He's like, "Mom,
no.
Are you serious?" I'm like, "Are you?"
You have a son like mine who has to explain things.
For real, he totally did. I did not believe him. I did not, but it's a thing.
It is. I didn't know that either.
Thing.
I know. I don't. Let's say this. I don't look up much. I told you. That's why I don't go to YouTube and look up things. I don't do any of that because I have a bad habit of finding uninnocent. And I get my computer and my phones. I go to the children's settings, Joanna, and in fact, one time I had it so blocked I couldn't get into WebMD. So I
remember that.
Yes, I had to undo a little bit so I could at least get to WebMD and a few other health places I like to read on. It was terrible. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
That's another little bit off topic there, except that what I'm trying to explain is
hopefully they started at the beginning. They didn't just, fast forward and now we're talking about feet fetishes because, that would be weird. Feet fetishes and reversals.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord help us,
we're not
Jesus.
talking about foot wash. Sorry.
Lord help us, Jesus.
So, and again, we were talking about tradition.
And I don't have any weird traditions in my family.
Google. That's why I didn't want to Google it. That's right. That's what we were talking about. I did not want to Google the banana thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. So if you happen to know it, like she said, moderndayabigails@gmail.com. Let me know if you know this true story.
We would like to know.
Yeah, I'd love to know because now y'all know why I refuse to go Google it. Maybe I'll get ready to do it. Anyway, no. Now Isaac is saying he's old and he's thinking he is about near death, but we're going to find out later that's not even close to being true. Some calculates he lived another 43 years.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was probably a tough life considering he was blind. This was like a will and testament telling the oldest son he was now the head of the family and wanted to bless him. Now, he's asking for food, but most likely he's just boasting in his favorite son's ability to hunt, because apparently Jacob could not hunt.
Jacob was feminine and a girly girl.
But he gets manly man. God's going to take him through the boot camp of manliness.
Yeah, he was very feminine.
He was his mama's boy.
Yeah.
And apparently knew his way around the kitchen. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You got one that can hunt and one that can cook. What's mom need to do?
Hey, if I ever get remarried, I'm really hoping he can cook because I certainly don't want to.
See, there you go. Because we can all go to the grocery store now. Yeah. I'm just thinking Rebecca had it made. She goes, hey, you go hunt, you go prepare the salad.
That's true.
I'm just saying. She had it good. So Esau was
apparently he cooks a mean stew as well. Apparently Esau needed to eat
though
it.
Jacob can't really cook a mean stew because mom has to go and fix this one.
Oh, how fun! That's true.
So I'm not sure what Jacob fixed that his brother was willing to eat, but
maybe he'd just gone 3 days without food and anything looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you've lived in the forest all your life and you couldn't figure out how to find something else other than meat. You couldn't find some berries, nuts, berries. I mean, I know you can eat pine trees. You can eat the bark and some pine nuts. I mean, anyway,
for real. I mean,
Esau was just being a big baby at that time. Anyway, Esau was the manly man, and perhaps Isaac was living vicariously through Esau. And so after he got the meal, he would bless Esau. So everything would have been different if Isaac had just said, hey, Esau, I'm blessing you right now. Think about that. I mean, it would have been a total different story if Isaac had said, hey, come on in here. I'm blessing you right this second.
Yeah.
God would have intervened in a different way, of course, because that was not God's plan.
No.
But no, instead, let me wait it up. Because he wasn't expecting anything else. He wasn't expecting Rebecca to intervene. He wasn't expecting God. Obviously, he was not expecting God to intervene.
No.
He had time.
But you know what?
Something good.
For those of us who know what the Bible says ahead of time, Esau never became a man of God.
No.
He never did.
They reconciled, but he never followed the Lord.
Never did.
No, he did it all.
And his nations and nations and nations.
They're still at battle today.
They're still at battle.
Today, they're still.
Because of his behavior. It's the curse.
Mm-hmm, the Jacob Esau wars is still going on today.
Still going on.
It's in the Middle East, peeps. Okay, so like I said, it would have been very different if Isaac had said that. But see, Isaac thinks he has time. He doesn't. I mean, he says, "Oh, I don't know when I'm going to die." Well, if he really thought he was going to die any second, he would have just blessed him right then and there. So,
right.
And in a way, this is God intervening because he didn't just bless Esau. So then, did Isaac forget that Esau sold his birthright? I'm assuming he knew. I can't imagine that didn't happen and Jacob didn't tell his mama. I have a feeling he told his mom everything. Did Isaac forget he married wives that he shouldn't have married? The ones that God specifically said don't marry. So why is Isaac doing this? And here's one of my thoughts. Proverbs 3-5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. Obviously, Isaac's not doing that. He's not trusting the Lord. He's thinking about his own understanding. He's not seeing the big picture. And he's just thinking, oh, well, Esau's my firstborn. He's my favorite. He's the manly man. He's the one that can handle it. He's going to be the fighter. So it's obviously going to go to Esau. Maybe he thought that Jacob didn't turn out the way God thought he would.
Because God was surprised.
Yeah, exactly. We all think that when we look at our children, you just think you got an idea of what your children are going to be like when they grow up. I was always scared that I was going to screw up my child and he was going to wind up in prison. It was going to be all my fault. Because I was going to do something so wrong to ruin him. But he turned out into this fabulous, young man with a wife and children, and he's a good dad. And so, sometimes
married an awesome girl.
Oh yeah, she's wonderful,
fabulous little family.
Exactly. So, but sometimes we think these horrible these thoughts, and it doesn't go the way we think. And so, I was really thankful that God told me one day. He goes, he was going to be a father to the fatherless. I couldn't screw it up. Because if I had been it, I would have screwed it up. So I don't think Esau wants to let go of the idea his firstborn is not the heir of the promise. He doesn't want to let go that his favorite son is not God's favorite son. In fact, God says, this is hard to hear, in Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. Yeah. God's never chosen Esau. And that's a whole different whole set. If you're having a problem with those words, like I said, go to Set for Life Radio, go find the podcast, go find the one where it's, we're in, he actually talks about this in Genesis, I guess 27. So, cause that's where we're at. So Ray does talk about it. He dresses it. He goes into detail about what's being said there, but God made a promise. God always keeps his promises. And it was never Esau's. In fact, he actually is going to go over it in church because he's in the book of Romans. In fact, I think he's in Romans 9, and he's going to talk about it this Sunday. So anyway, he's going to go over that. Just sneak peek, Joanna.
Speaking of, who's teaching tomorrow?
I am.
Okay.
Because I didn't get to do it last time because of all the cold weather.
Yeah,
and
that's right. We didn't have church last week.
Yeah, because they were saying it was going to be nothing but sleet and ice that morning.
We didn't get none of that.
You know what, though? At 4:30 in the morning, it was still saying we were going to get sleet and ice through 10 o'clock. And they did not change that forecast until about 7, 8. Yeah. Because I was up where watching it. That's why everybody was making the decision the night before because it was so up in the air.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, I think people appreciated it because nobody wanted to get out in that cold because it was still cold.
And there's probably ice on the car.
Oh, yeah,
For the next 3 days, there was ice on my car.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go. I want to say something about...
go for it.
Where it says, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. Esau mocked God his entire life.
Yes.
Now, Jacob... he wasn't much better.
But he does learn and he does submit to God and fears God. We will
as he gets older.
Yes, but we'll briefly talk about that on his way because we're going to talk about how where he's going to go find his wife.
Yeah.
We see where Jacob's finally starting to see, I am the promise. The promise is going through me, and we actually start seeing where he fears the Lord.
I better get it together.
Yeah.
But
Now,
Esau
it
never
takes a while.
comes to that understanding.
No, he doesn't.
And his whole life.
Yeah. And Jacob, we're going to see how his whole life is nothing but deception and
Until the
favoritism.
Lord gets a hold of him, and then he's like, does a 180.
Yes, but he also still has some favoritism that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So we'll see all that because we're going to see that with the
he's
women.
human. Listen, we're human.
No,
we still do what we do.
We're not perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't need a savior, but it's nothing. But this shows us that we need a savior. I know some people will say, well, the book is telling us we're going to hell. No, the Bible's telling us or if we don't do something, we're going to hell. No, we're already on our way to hell. The Bible's saying how we get out of it. And
Thank you. We are already the
going.
minute we're born, we're already going to hell.
Yep. From the beginning of beginnings, we're going to talk about that. It's already, anyway, God foreknows what's going to happen anyway.
But the Lord gives us the option to not do that.
Yeah. He's going to show us how. He
gives us door number 2.
Right. Yeah. In fact, that's that controversial subject that Ray's going to go into on Sunday is trying to explain how. Anyway, I don't want to go through it here because it doesn't make sense with this lesson, but it's amazing how God already sees everything, knows everything, and that he chooses to save us. He's chosen to save us. We have to receive it.
Yeah.
And there's so many who don't want to receive it. Yeah. We have to understand that we're sinners. We have to understand that we have disobeyed God, that we are in big trouble. And the only way to get out of it is by realizing that Jesus came to save us, to rescue us, and that he died, rose again, and he's coming back.
And again, we've said this so many times. The Lord is a gentleman. He's not going to force his love and relationship on you. He gives it freely, and we get to decide, do we want him in our life or not?
Right. So, Paul,
and as we say, choose wisely.
Exactly. So in that Romans 9:13, Paul was talking about Israel's rejection of God's purpose. But God has a purpose. He has a covenant promise, and he always keeps that promise. So God, from the beginning, was bringing the promised Messiah through the Jews. That was the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the blessing has to fall on Jacob, and God is making sure this happens. So when we go to Genesis 20, I didn't rewrite it, 27, verse 5, or are we in, 28. Did we skip to 28? Nope, verse 5, 27, sorry. Genesis 27, 5. Now, Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau, his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt game and bring it. Rebekah's listening suggests that Isaac was blessing Esau in private.
Well, that's sneaky.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's sneaky.
I know. First off, I believe her husband called was for their son, and she didn't know why, so she listened. She probably was suspicious that this was going to happen.
What's going on here?
Yeah,
a private meeting? Huh.
Mm-hmm. And my guess is that maybe she and Isaac have been talking about it. I'm getting older. I can't see. I probably need to move my line and change the head of the family. And maybe they had that discussion. Isaac, it's supposed to go to Jacob, not Esau. And they might have had some, intense fellowships over that. We don't know. But my guess is that she was suspicious because they've been talking about it.
And now here he is having a secret meeting.
Exactly. Did she fear for her son or her husband, or just curious? Maybe she was scared of what Esau would do to her husband because he was a violent man. I think we read that later, that Esau was a violent man. I mean, he's got plots of revenge against Jacob.
You keep saying what he would do to her husband, but you mean her son.
No, not yet. How do we know that she doesn't think that Esau is going to attack her husband?
Like as in his dad.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I'm going to take this blessing from you.
Because that happens.
It happens. It happened a lot back then.
A lot of sons kill their king dads.
Yep. In fact, there was a whole history of, I remember going through history class about all the sons who killed their dads, who killed this person, trying to get to become king.
Yeah, the throne.
Yeah. So it might have been. So we don't know exactly why.
Not that Isaac was a king, but
no, but he was the head of the household.
Yeah, and the whole whole line that the Lord said there was a covenant, so it was important.
And if Isaac died, automatically it would have gone to Esau. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know what Rebekah was thinking. I'm just throwing things out there. I would be curious if my husband called her son in and didn't say why. It doesn't say why. So I think what we're trying to do is, I don't know if she was listening because it was wrong and sneaky necessarily. I was reading different commentaries to see what people thought.
No, when I said sneaky, I meant him having a private meeting.
Oh, I thought you meant she was being sneaky. No. Oh, yes.
That's sneaky to have a private meeting with the son. That's a sneaky meeting. They probably have family meetings all the time, and all of a sudden now there's a private meeting. What's going on here?
Why, Isaac? When you're talking about how old you are, and like I said, he's probably been talking about, I'm so old, I can't see, I'm getting old, I don't know when I'm going to die, and she's probably thinking, oh no, what are you going to do?
Here we go.
Now, does this suggest he knows what he's doing wrong? This private meeting?
I think so.
I think so too. This is what happens when we are bent on what we want instead of what God wants. And we have to be very careful. When we are bent to win and force what we think is right in our own mind instead of trusting the Lord, it makes us miserable and we do dumb things.
I mean, you can. Go ahead, hardhead. You just go do your thing.
Yeah.
And when you get done with your consequences and they're too much to bear, then you can go back to the Lord and he can say, okay, let's do it my way.
Exactly.
But now you've wasted all this time.
Hey, so you know what? Sometimes God does allow do-over. Sometimes we're so dumb, it takes us out and it's like,
oh, thank the Lord, I've got some do-overs.
I know,
oh my
me
gosh.
too.
I can't
There's
even
a few times I'm like, I can't believe I wasn't taken out at that moment.
For reals. I should be dead so many different times.
Exactly.
I mean, I am the epitome of hard-headed. I'm a hard-headed learner.
Mm-hmm. I have a tendency to have to learn the hard way. That's why when the Lord told me in 2016, hey, you need to pray to be the wife that Ray needs for the ministry. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. What does that mean? Lord? Hey, Lord?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I remember thinking that. I'm like, oh, that means I have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that.
I'm not one who learns watching other people make mistakes. I like to make them.
to think I can. I'm like, Lord.
I like to make them myself a few times.
Yeah, I was like, Lord, why can't you just tell me what to do? I'm pretty good about being a rule follower. So if you just write out that process for me, I am pretty good at following a process. I just need you to write it out.
And I'm a rebel. I'm like, process? What process?
And that is exactly why I am the process queen at work. And we are going to follow the process.
Oh, geez.
And if it does need to change, we'll change it.
Yeah.
But not until we prove why. Okay.
No,
so anyway, that's what I'm like all the time. Like, Lord, I'll just send me a memo. I'll have it if you just send me a memo. And the Lord's like, nah.
Right.
Take it. Just sometimes things that God does doesn't make sense in our finite mind. But God is the creator of heaven and earth and all of it. And he has seen the beginning and he has seen the end. And we have to trust him on that. So how does Rebecca respond? Let's talk about her response. So she's hearing this conversation. It is not the way she knows it's supposed to go. So you know what Rebecca's going to do? She's going to pray her heart out to the Lord.
Or girl, she gets down on her knees and No.
She doesn't even pray. As far as I can tell, she didn't even pray. As far as I can tell,
went down.
She doesn't wait on the Lord. She's not like going like, hey,
she's
Lord.
Like, oh, Lord, intervene.
Yeah. No.
None of that's going on.
I mean, what we should do is like...
Now she gets sneaky.
Now she's
like, oh, you getting sneaky? I'm getting sneaky too.
Exactly. And she's going to say, I got this. And Psalm 27:14, it says, wait on the Lord.
You don't got this.
No. Psalm 27:14, wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. You know when the Lord tells you wait twice, you're supposed to wait.
Yeah.
Rebecca did not wait. Ladies,
no.
We do that all the time. We don't wait. Either
it's so hard.
I know. Either our mouths get us in trouble or our actions get us in trouble. Yeah. I would dare say that probably our mouths get us in trouble quickly.
Yeah.
Because we wind up saying something dumb. I mean, I guess I should be thankful she didn't walk in there and go, are you stupid? You know that's not the promise. That probably wouldn't have gone well.
Yeah. Are y'all serious right now?
Yeah. Because you know what? You know what would have happened if she had done that? Probably he would have just blessed Esau right then and there. Called it a day.
Yeah.
See, woman, I did it. Now, I'm not saying that what everybody's doing, this whole family, they're all wrong. Okay. I'm not saying the man's better than the woman. I'm not saying the woman's better than the man. I'm not saying the child knows more than the parents.
All get in on the mischief.
All wrong.
We're about to see that. Yeah. They all four jump in to the mess.
Oh, yeah. They're
voluntarily, yes. I might say.
I know. So instead of praying, this is what Rebekah does in Genesis 27, verse 6. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob, her son, saying, "Indeed, I heard your father speak to Esau, your brother, saying, 'Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Now, go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of the goat, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it and that he may bless you before his death.'" Isn't that interesting?
He could have said no.
Yeah.
He should have said no.
There's a lot of things they both could have done. But instead, I want to first ask, what happened to that woman who sought the Lord when she knew something was not right? Where does she go? Is that what 80 years? Let me see.
She ain't here
now. She waited
now.
20 years for the kids, and now it's 40. So it's 60 years later. What happened in those 60 years that you forgot to go to the Lord? I'd like to understand that one. I do get her.
She had an emergency popping up, and she made an
rash
unwise,
decision.
Yes, that's it. Rash decision.
I think we can learn from this that don't make rash decisions. There is no reason to make a rash decision.
Thank you for letting us share our tools to become the women God created us to be. If we encouraged you today, visit us at moderndayabigails.com. Remember, you are loved, cherished, and prayed over.